What's going on, everybody? In today's episode, I'm going to be telling you why your plants keep dying on you, especially during the summer. It doesn't matter how much water you give your plants, how much azomite, how much fish emulsion you're giving them. Your plants keep on dying on you. Why? Well, in today's episode, I'm going to be telling you the two main reasons why your plants keep dying on you. Maybe your plant looks like this. Well, if your plant is suffering and you're wondering why, make sure you stick to the end of the video. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the reason number one. What is the number one reason plants are dying on you, especially if you're watering them? And that is your plant is root bound. Check this out. So you see this rose right here? This rose right here has been watered at least once or twice a day for the past month or so. But as you can see, I got some transpiration burn right here. The plant looks a little wilted. It just looks terrible. Why is this plant looking like crap right now, even though I'm watering it? Well, it is because it's root bound. As your plants become root bound, two things are gonna happen. Your plant is usually going to grow. And just like you, as you get bigger, your requirements for sustainment are going to go up. Your requirements for water and food are going to go up. So it's no different with plants. So this plant right here, it is root bound. This is a 3-gallon container, and right now I'm watering this plant twice a day by hand. But as you can see, I have not been consistent because it has sustained transpiration burn. If you want to learn more about types of heat damage, especially during the summer months, watch this video that will explain everything to you. But anyways, you see this right here, all the crispy edges. The plant's a little wilted. Even though the plant visibly looks a little moist right here, you can see it's a little moist. It's not wet, it's moist. It's not fully dry, but the plant just does not look the greatest. The leaves should be perked up like this, facing up, happy and everything. You can also see I got some curling going on. If you want to learn more about curling, I got a video that explains everything about a leaf curl, especially on citrus, but that curling will also apply to all plants. But let me explain what's going on here. So this plant right here is fully rooted in this container. And as plants become root bound, what usually happens is they will have a hard time uptaking the nutrients and water from the soil. Even though the soil may be wet, the more root bound your plant becomes in the container, the harder it is for your plant to uptake the water. So what's usually going to happen is you're going to water your plant, the soil is going to look wet, but yet your plant's still going to give you signs that is being underwatered. So what's the fix for this right here? Well, the easiest fix for this is, well, you need to pot up your plant into a bigger container. Once you pot up your plant into a bigger container, the plant is going to be able to grow its root system bigger to sustain the bigger size plant. That's simple. And this is going to be one of the main problems that you are going to encounter, especially during the summer months, because over 95% of the water that you give your plant will use through transpiration. You may ask, what is transpiration? Transpiration is just another word for sweating. Plants sweat for the same reasons you do. The hotter it gets, the more water the plant will send up its foliage to evaporate so it can cool off. Now, as the plant becomes root bound, it won't be able to do that fast enough before it takes damage, like this one right here. This one, I've been watering religiously twice a day, every single day. But as you can see, I have not been consistent, especially when you water by hand. Your plants are going to suffer. I may not have watered this plant at the same time every single day, and just that 1 or 2 hour period that I forgot to water this plant, or I didn't get to it quick enough, you can see it has taken damage. Now this plant right here, it is not dead. I just need to put this plant in a bigger container and it will be good to go. Now let's go ahead and talk about the reason number 2 why your plants are dying in the summer. Reason number 2 is, well, your plant may be root bound, but also the soil, the potting mix that you use may have become hydrophobic. So you may ask, what is hydrophobic? That is just, so let me explain it to you real quick. That just means your soil started to repel the water. So every time that you water your plant, the soil is actually repelling it. It's not soaking it up. So every time that you water, the water is not being absorbed into the soil. It's just going around the sidewalls down the container. See, I have this container right here full of water, and let me go ahead and dump it in the container. Look, the water looks like it's actually soaking up, going down. Anybody watering this plant would be like, okay, my plant is good to go. There's no reason why this plant is dying. It's probably because I didn't buy the fish emulsion brand that this person online is telling me to buy. But the reality is the opposite. And that is, this potting mix has become hydrophobic. Let me show it to you. Look, I just dumped a bunch of water, probably at least a gallon of water. And then you can see most of this potting mix right here barely got wet. And this is what most of you are actually doing out there, especially during the summer months. You're watering your plant, you're dumping a bunch of water all at once, because that is the fastest way to water, because you don't want to be out there because it's too hot, right? Look at that, look at that. The soil is not taking up the water. Look, it's all dry. This is hydrophobic. Look at that. Even chili agrees that it's hydrophobic.
Keep going.
Especially if you keep watering it like that. Well, the main reason your soil becomes hydrophobic is usually because you are watering your plant by hand. You are not being consistent. You're not giving it the right amount of water every single day. So as the water evaporates from the soil, a lot of the potting mixes out there, they are going to become hydrophobic. They are going to start repelling the water. So every time that you water your plant, it's just gonna repel it. It's not gonna get absorbed into the potting mix like it's supposed to. And that is usually because you're not consistent. You're watering your plant by hand, and that is what you get. Simple as that. If your plant has become hydrophobic, there are 3 ways you can fix this. Number 1 is you can repot your plant using a different potting mix if you want to fix it right away. Number 2 is you can actually just get a container with water like this and just let it sit there. You see how it's floating? So what's usually going to happen is it's going to take a few hours, but eventually that potting mix will soak up the water from the bottom. Now, if you have a lot of plants like I do right here, that is not easy. There's no way I can put every single plant and soak it from the bottom. There's no way I can get every single plant over here and just put it in a flat tray and let it soak from the bottom. So that brings us to option number 3, and that is automatic irrigation. So these plants in this immediate area right here, they are on a overhead sprinkler system right here. So these plants, they get water automatically, and that prevents them from actually getting hydrophobic. So this plant right here was at the edge of my shade structure. There was bigger trees in the way, so it wasn't really getting the water, and that's the main reason why it became hydrophobic. You can also put your plants on a drip system, like this plant's right here. You see, this is a lemon eucalyptus right here, and it's completely root bound. This plant should have been potted up into a bigger container a year ago. But as you can see, it's suffering a little bit. And the main reason why it burned like this, transpiration burn, is because it tipped over in the wind, the line came out, so it didn't get water for that one afternoon. But if that hadn't happened, you can see this one over here did not fall over, it looks fine. This plant would have been fine for a while. So once your plants become root bound, if you have a drip irrigation system, your plant is getting water automatically every single day at the same time, and you can have this water your plant as many times as you want. Right now, I have this come on for about 4 minutes, and it's coming on 3 times a day, and the plant's fine. And I can probably keep this planting here for another year, but it will get to a point where the plant is so root bound, so grossly root bound, that it doesn't matter how wet it actually gets, the plant will just not be able to uptake the water, and eventually it will die. But if you have an automatic irrigation system, it's a lot more forgiving, because then the consistency will actually make up for your plant being root bound. And when your plants get consistent water, the soil will never get hydrophobic. This soil right here is actually moist, and it will not get dry and start repelling the water like the other soils, because it gets water consistently. Now, if your plant has become hydrophobic, you can put it on a drip irrigation system like this. Get your emitter pointing towards the middle, right here where most of the roots are going to be, and then just let it be, and then the soil will eventually start soaking up the water. And that's how you can fix your plants that have become hydrophobic, or if your plants are root bound, to give it a little more time. So there you have it, everybody. 99% of the problems that you are going to encounter with your plants are always going to be water-related issues. So just water your plants. Or if you're watering them and your plants are still dying, well, now you know why. If you liked this video, don't forget to like it. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? And as always, I will see you next time.